Is technology making us stupid? So when I was growing up, the internet was just becoming a more popular thing. Even just shortly before my time, people didn't have access to the internet. They didn't have all of this knowledge at their fingertips. I can learn something that they just discovered in Japan. 2 minutes ago, it can be on the internet and I can know about it. That is crazy to think about. It would take me so long to get to Japan, but because of the internet, I have this knowledge like this. But because I have so much knowledge available to me, I can't possibly store all of that. Back when our parents were growing up, if they read something and they wanted to access that knowledge again, they had to remember it. They had to put it in their brains because, they can't just go check out a book every single time they want to learn this information. But if I want to know a random fact that I found on the internet, it takes me 2 seconds to find it again. Well, a few more than 2 seconds, but you know what I mean. I don't have to store anything anymore. Like phone numbers. I used to have to remember every single person's phone number, but now I have a cell phone. So I know my mom's number, my dad's number, my brother's number, my boyfriend's number, and mine. That's it. I used to have to remember an entire list if I wanted to call everyone. If we didn't have autocorrect, it would take me 6 hours to send a text. I was solid with those QWERTY keyboards where they actually had the physical buttons. Like, I could get a whole text and it'd be perfect and it'd be insane and people are like, oh my gosh, there's so many clicks per second. But with these new keyboards where they have these tiny buttons that are like a third of the width of your finger, every single word has to be autocorrected for me. I would be completely lost without spell check. If I don't know how to spell something, I can just Google it, or it will autocorrect for me, Like, my spelling is terrible because I don't have to remember it, and I know that I have to look up words over and over and over again because I don't bother storing it because I don't need to. It's just here for me. It's kind of a problem because what if one day you don't have access to the internet anymore? Our power has gone out for 3 or 4 hours. I had nothing to do. I couldn't access the TV, my phone was dead, and I couldn't charge it. I had like 3% battery left, so I couldn't do anything. And our fridge wasn't working. We didn't have any food in our fridge that was not something that required a microwave. I guess you can technically do it on a stove, but I've never done it before, and I couldn't look up how to do it because I didn't have my phone. I had books, which I could have read, but most of them I've already read, and I don't know, I wasn't in the mood to read a book. And if it was dark, I had no light. Like, I couldn't really go out for a walk, if it's dark. What do we do without electricity and technology? If I had to write a letter to someone, there's a good chance that I would have had spelling errors. I mean, if it was in the dark especially. But I rely so much on my phone and on the internet. There's an argument that technology makes us more distracted. Oh my gosh, yes. If I was reading a book, I would constantly be thinking about my phone or something more entertaining that I would want to be doing with technology instead of reading this book for school. Like if it's a textbook and it's no pictures and everything, and I'm just like, I can't get through a chapter without, falling asleep or getting extremely bored, and it's really hard to stay focused on what I'm reading because I am so used to, going on Facebook and there's like 100 different videos that I can see in an hour. According to some stuff I read on Huffington Post, it's some stuff I read on the internet, it says that millennials are more forgetful. That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, some people are more prone to be forgetful, but when I'm working and I start one thing and then I start something else and then I start something else and I forget what I'm doing because there's so many things that need to be done, and I think about one thing, it's like, oh, I need to do this, and I think about something else and I need to get this done. Maybe that's not a problem for everyone, it might just be a me thing, but I feel like we are so used to multitasking now. Like, I can open 6 different tabs on my computer that we just get distracted so easily, and it's harder to focus on one thing for a long period of time. Another thing that they say is a problem is that we can't find our way anymore without GPS. Yeah, it's a lot easier to figure out how to get places because a map, they can't update it every second like they can for Google Maps. But I always try when we go to places to look at the map once and then try to remember it so I'm able to get there if I don't have access to my phone. Because I know if I just listen to what the GPS says, I'm not going to be able to get there. My parents will leave the GPS on all the way home, even though they've gone this way thousands of times. Like, maybe not thousands, but at least hundreds of times. They know how to get home, but they leave that GPS on. And I think we become so reliant on it that we cannot find places. Like, I try so hard to remember, but a lot of times I have to, put the GPS on because I wasn't able to remember the entire map because I'm not used to having to store that much information. It's just, something I could look up again. Yes, it's good. I have access to so much more information, but I don't retain it. So does that make me less intelligent? Or do we just have to redefine our definition of intelligence as maybe knowing how to use the information that's available to us? There's an argument that no, it's not making us less intelligent, it's giving other people access to more intelligence because maybe they aren't able to store a bunch of information, or they wouldn't have done as well in situations where they had to store information, and now they have access to all of this. Like people who are naturally not good at spelling are able to spell correctly. Yes, that's true. So then maybe we just need to change our definition of intelligence. Now that we don't have to store quite as much in our own brains, we have the cloud to store all our extra information for us. Try to figure out what valuable things you should put in that extra space that you have in your brain. I know that I put too many things like cat videos and memes and all these other fun things, but we have a responsibility to better ourselves. Now that we have so much knowledge available to us, we have to do something with it. Only you can use that extra space in your brain wisely. So, do it.